Do not take product if you are hypersensitive.
Oh, hey, Internet, and welcome back to the Intoxicated podcast. If you're brand new to Intoxicated, this is a drinking variety talk show where typically I have friends on and we talk about life. Apologies in advance for my voice during this intro. I am so sick with the worst cold of life. Been drinking hot tea all day, but it doesn't seem to be doing anything. Guys, I'm super excited for this week's episode. This week, I have a super special guest on Intoxicated. I get to sit down and do an episode with Heidi Brander. Heidi is a stand-up comedian, and she is a writer for 22 Minutes on CBC, and she's a very awesome, funny lady. Now, there's actually a story behind this that goes back to 3 years ago when I actually saw a set of hers at a Pub Explosion comedy show, and it was one of those comedy sets that really resonated with me. We seem to have the same type of humor, same self-deprecation. And so when I started the podcast, she was always one of my endgame guests to have on. So I actually sent her a tweet and she agreed to come on. So it's really super awesome that I got to have Heidi on. I've been wanting to do it essentially ever since the podcast started. It's always been a goal of mine to get comedians on because I love talking with comedians. They are just the type of people I want to have on my podcast. And I can't think of a better way to start that than to have Heidi on. So we got together, we had some afternoon beers, and we talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about stand-up comedy in general, being a self-deprecating woman, which is something that speaks true to my soul because I'm super self-deprecating. I think there's a lot of challenges that come with being a self-deprecating woman, especially in comedy. It was just really refreshing and great to talk to another woman who is a lot like me, and that we typically say the things that everyone else is thinking but don't want to say out loud. And that's part of what drew me to Heidi. So we did talk a lot about that. And also, about dating in our 30s. And we told some hookup stories. So it's a really good episode. I really enjoyed this one. I'm super stoked that I got to have one of my guest goals on the show. So guys, be sure to follow Heidi on social media. She is at Heidi Brander on Instagram and Twitter. I will link below to her socials. I will also leave a link for a upcoming show she is doing in Toronto with some comedian friends of hers on April 13th. For any listeners in the Toronto area, you can go check her out. I want to give a big shout out thank you to our 2 Patreons. That is Tyler and Zoe. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for your support. I actually really can't wait to actually find out more from you guys, find out about what you want to hear on the show, get some feedback from y'all, because that's what it's all about on Patreon. So make sure to check out our Patreon page. We are at patreon.com/intoxicated. There's a bunch of different reward levels on there you can check out. So if you want to sign up, we would love to have you as a member of our Patreon community. Don't forget to follow the podcast on social media as well. That's Facebook and Instagram at Intoxicated Podcast, on Twitter at @in_toxicated. You can also email any feedback or questions to intoxicatedpodcast@gmail.com. And of course, make sure you do hit the subscribe button on whatever podcasting app you use. Make sure you do subscribe to Intoxicated Podcast and Intoxicated Reviews. So if you're new to the show, Intoxicated Reviews is essentially a pop culture recap podcast hosted by my friend Corey. He talks about everything TV and movies, and it's fantastic. So make sure you do subscribe over there as well, as it is a separate feed. Anyways, guys, I'm slowly but surely losing my voice, so I'm going to cut to this awesome episode with the very lovely and talented Heidi Brander.
Let's get her going, eh? That was really Canadian. That was really Canadian of me.
Oh, Canadian,
and I even said
let's
it
get her going,
with
bud.
accent. Guys, I'm so excited right now. I have Miss Heidi Brander on the podcast.
Hi, it's me.
It's Heidi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
I'm so freaking excited. You don't even know. When you agreed to come on, I was literally like, what? You were one of my endgame guests, and now I have to find another endgame guest.
Oh, yay. Oh, man. You peaked too early. Oh, God.
But thanks so much for coming on. I'm here with Heidi, and we are drinking some Two Crows.
Two Crows beer.
Table beer.
Table beer. Ooh.
The guy at the liquor store made a joke. He's like, where's the chair beer?
Okay, guy, don't judge the beer. Come on.
I was just kind of gave him a little bit of a giggle to make him feel good.
Oh, yeah.
But we are drinking beer. And oddly enough, both me and Heidi are a bit hungover today.
Totally. Oh, boy.
I thought I was the only one. I was like, I hope she doesn't judge me that I'm slightly hungover.
Do you find that drinking helps with a hangover, though? It feels very disgusting because I will put alcohol into my body and be like, oh, I feel better. Oh, no. This is so bad.
I feel like certain things, like Heidi actually requested wine or beer. And when I was picking up the booze, I was like, what does my stomach want more? Probably beer. I feel like beer is a good hangover drink.
Totally.
And Caesars.
Oh my God, I love Caesars.
Yeah, Caesars, I do too.
Caesars are a lot to assemble though. If I would have felt bad if I was like, bring over a big thing of Clamato and Tabasco and stuff.
There was one podcast that we did broken down golf carts.
Oh no.
And that meant getting a shit ton of different ingredients. And I was carrying 2 bags of stuff. I was just like, beer is just so easy. It's just a couple cans and we're good to go. So let's bring it for a cheers, even though it's not going to pick it up. Because put the sound effect of a cheers in. Yeah. So normally I start off the show because I usually have a lot of friends on. Normally I start with a friendship origin story.
Ooh.
So we're not really friends, although we'll be friends.
We'll
be
friends.
friends after
Come on.
this. Yeah.
You bought me a beer. We're friends.
But I actually have a story to tell you about a couple of years ago.
Oh no.
You won't remember this at all. But a couple of years ago, it was a Pop Explosion show. Uh-huh. And I went and Eric Andre was the headliner.
Oh yeah.
And it was down at I want to say it was the Atlantica.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And so I went with a friend and I saw your set and I died laughing. I just remember just being like, this girl's hilarious. And I do anytime I see a stand-up I like I'll instantly follow you. I'll just pull out my phone during the set and find them and follow them. And I remember you made me laugh so hard, and then fucking Eric Andre was on stage naked with his balls between his legs.
Yeah, that was incredible. I can't even I was just like, whoa, I knew who he was, but I just thought he would do regular stand-up. And
right?
He was crazy. I love him.
Put it, literally got naked on stage. And yet I walked away from that show just being like, I really like this Heidi girl. She was awesome. And I tweeted at you.
Yes.
So I tweeted at you and I was like, girl, you're my spirit animal, because you had a joke. You made a bit about masturbating to Drake, and I think it was Drake.
It was. It was definitely Drake.
And the mic drop,
yeah.
And it just spoke to my soul so much, so that I had to tweet you. And I remember you wrote me back, and you were like, thanks so much. This girl was a total bitch to me after the show, and my night was ruined, and you made my night.
That when you say oh, you won't remember this, I'm that I remember that night all the time. That because you don't get a lot of mean social media stuff normally. We're just local comedians. We're not superstars or anything like that. And you don't get a lot of nice social media stuff, and you don't get a lot of mean stuff either. And then this random person tweeted at me said at Heidi Brander to make sure I saw it. And was you did the same set that you did at another show that I was at, and I'm I'm not comedy is weird. It's you don't have that much material. It seems it's all being made up on the fly and stuff, but we write this stuff. Yes. And you wouldn't go up to a musician and be like, how dare you do the same set of music that I saw before? And sorry, but don't make she just it completely ruined my. And also she was also tweeting positively about 2 of my friends that were also on the show, being but this guy killed and that guy killed, and I'm well, they're doing the exact same sets too. You just didn't see them before, so why are you mad at me? And
that's ridiculous.
Just ruin my night. And then I get this magical tweet from this beautiful girl. Oh my god! And you just I was moping around so hard, and we went to a show. I can't remember what we went to see a band at oh my god, what's that venue called? The where bingo is all the time.
Oh, the Forum?
The Forum, yeah. So we went to, and I was just Mopey McGee, at the Forum. And then I see this tweet, and you just completely 180'd my night. And I was there are good people in the world.
And see, that's the thing. And that's why I feel it's hard to engage sometimes, we're all kind of lazy as a culture, like in terms of engaging with the people we like on social media, because we're just always on it, and it's a lot. And it's like, I make a point if I see someone like doing something that like made me belly laugh, like you hit me right in the giggle dick with those jokes.
Oh my God,
I have to let you know, like it's because like, and the thing I like about you, and like the reason like you were one of the people I thought of when I was like, I need to get comedians on, I want to approach Heidi, is the self-deprecation. Because I'm super self-deprecating.
Yeah, it's like, how would you ever have confidence in this world? Come on.
Okay, and like that's interesting because a lot of people think that if you are self-deprecating, you're not confident. And I disagree. I think it takes confidence to be self-deprecating. Like,
that's very true. I didn't think about it like that. Yeah.
Right? To like make fun of yourself?
Well, yeah. Like I say stuff on stage that I mean it, but I don't like mean, like, I don't know. People will come up to me and be like, you know, like, you actually shouldn't like say that stuff about yourself because like you're like pretty and everything like that. And I'm like, but like in my own head, I am like, well, I mean, I am very confident, but I'm also very like, LOL, like I'm a monster.
See, and I'm like, LOL, I'm a piece of trash. Like that's like I call myself garbage all the time, and people are just like, "Yee, don't do that." I'm just like, yeah, but it's funny.
Yeah, it's kind of like with you know, when you make fun of like your mom or something like that. But if someone else makes fun of your mom, you're like, stop that. Like,
yes.
I'm the only one that's allowed to make fun of my mom. It's kind of like that. Like, I'm a very confident person, and I can make fun of myself. But if someone were to be like, oh, like, your face is weird or something like that, I will be like, fuck you. Like, I'll be
exactly. No, it's kind of like you're giving yourself the upper hand in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always like to make fun of myself for things that I know other people are thinking but aren't saying.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of what I like to do sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I know you think that I'm unorganized and I'm a piece of shit, so I'm gonna say that like before you do.
Totally.
Or before you say it in a way that's like passive aggressive or like whatever.
And it's so much more appealing to do that than to be one of these people who like everyone, no one's perfect, but like if you walk around like I'm perfect, like I'm like schmooze, swagger, like I don't like those kind of people. They seem so fake to me.
Oh, ding. So this is why I like yes. So, not to bury the lead, but you are a stand-up comedian.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do that thing. I do the comedy thing. And so you're a writer for 22 Minutes.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Is that kind of like your main gig right now? Is 22
yeah,
minutes?
I've been, so main gig, like 6 months a year, I live in Halifax and I write for 22. And then in the summer, I do a little bit of like Baroness Von Sketch, which is like my favorite fucking show to write for. It's so good. And like all those girls are so awesome. And then I do like some like Still Standing, if you'd heard of that show too.
No, but I will check it out.
Yeah, it's really good.
So what is that exactly?
It's like, there's this comedian named Johnny Harris who's like from Murdoch Mysteries and stuff, and he goes around to all these like small towns across Canada that are kind of like down on their luck, and then he sort of profiles the town, but like it's like a documentary on the town, but it's funny. And then at the end he does like a big stand-up show for like all the people that live in the town, and he performs for them. So yeah, like we get to like kind of write some bits for him about the town. It's very fun.
Do you get to go to the towns?
Well, I didn't last year, but this year I do. So like that's gonna be fun. I get to like travel to cool and not so cool places.
That's amazing. And is it just in Canada?
Yeah, it's just in Canada.
That's unreal. Because small towns in Canada, I mean, like I grew up in Antigonish.
Yeah, oh man, I used to live I lived in like Stellarton for like a very brief stint. Yeah.
Okay, where are you from?
So I was born in Halifax. Like I was a little baby for a couple of years in Halifax. Although my parents are from PEI and they live back there now. But my dad like worked in the newspaper business, so he had to like move around a lot. So I lived in Stellarton, Cornwall, Ontario, Georgetown, Ontario, and then we went back to PEI. So I identify as being from PEI.
That makes sense. So you're a Maritimer at heart.
Yeah, exactly.
You're pretty much a Maritimer.
Yeah, it's weird. Like this is the first time I've really lived in Halifax, even though I was technically born here. Yeah,
crazy. And I have a question. Mm-hmm. How did you at what age did you know that you were funny?
Oh God. My whole family is like really funny. Like we all
Yeah.
make fun of each other. I'm probably the least funny person in my family.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I was always like the butt of all the jokes, and I think that's like where the self-deprecation thing comes.
Oh, yes, it would. Are you the youngest?
Yeah, I'm the youngest.
That would do it.
Yeah, my dad's hilarious, and like my grandfather was like hilarious and stuff. So yeah, like I don't think I knew I was funny until probably like university, just because everyone around me was always so much funnier, and I was just trying to like compete.
Keep up with them a little bit. Did you when did you realize that you wanted to do stand up and like actually get on that stage? Because I can't imagine that taking that first step to get up on that stage and do it. Because I have jokes in my phone. Like,
oh yeah, you should really do it. Like, I mean, that's the thing. If you have if you're writing jokes in your phone, like that means you've got like the little bug. Because so many people are like, no, I would absolutely never do that. But if you're like thinking about it, it's way easier than you think it's gonna be.
Yeah, is it? Is it nerve wracking? Like, do you remember your first show?
It's still nerve wracking. Like every time I have to go to Yuck Yucks, I'm like, oh no. And like some people don't have that dread. Like a lot of people are like, man, I got to get on stage. I can't wait. Da da da. But I like always am filled with dread and like fear and stuff.
Shit.
But then if it starts going well, I'm like, oh, this is fun, and I loosen up a bit. But for the first until you get like the first laugh, you're just like, oh god, how is this gonna go? So,
that's the thing. And whenever I go to stand up shows, I make sure I laugh loud so they hear me laughing.
Yeah, that's so like do stuff like that. That's so nice. And like when people like even when it's a good show and people are like like tiny
Golf
claps.
clap.
Yeah. I'm like, no, everyone, like the comedian needs your help. Like,
Seriously,
laugh
though,
really
because
loud.
you need that momentum. And you need that energy, I think. Like, what do you do in times when you're not getting that? Because, like, I can't imagine the ability to, like, speak on the spot, like, and try, like, because for me, it's like I have notes in my phone that are jokes, but, like, it's the transitions between them that I'm just like, that takes a fucking skill.
Oh, yeah. And
it's
really, like, a learning curve. Because, like, my first, like, I don't know, year of stand-up, I just kind of memorized things and like ran through it in my head and went up like a robot, just like barking out the jokes that I'd written, which were fine. But like there's something about just like being loose and like being in the moment and everything like that. And then you kind of have to do some gigs that like are bad, which is to grow. Like you really need to, like I started doing like some Yuck Yuck shows in Ontario, which are like the Yuck Yucks in Halifax is amazing. Like the Yuck Yucks in certain small towns in Ontario. Oh god.
So good.
Oh my god. Like it's like people are like rooting for you to fail. So you go up and like you just have to die, and then it's kind of like throwing like a cat in the or you know a baby or something in the water, and then like they sink to the bottom and like they think they're gonna die, and then they eventually like I don't know if that happens when you throw a baby in the water, but
That's a great analogy. I love that your mind went there. Baby in the water.
You know the baby will probably drown, but like maybe one baby will like doggy paddle up to the top. I don't know.
It's like otters. So like mother otters like drag their babies under the water to teach them how to swim.
See, yeah, it's like that. I did not know that about otters.
Yeah,
wow.
You should look it up on YouTube. Like literally like look up otter teaching baby to swim. And it looks terrifying.
Yeah,
like it looks like they're
baby.
drowning their babies. But really they're just teaching them like this is what it's like underwater. This is what you're supposed to do.
Oh man, I don't know if I want to see that. Like, no, that's fine if the baby learns how to swim, or the otter. Come on,
otters are my favorite. They always look like they're having so much fun.
They're holding hands all the time. They're so cute.
They're adorable.
The teddy bears of the sea. Well.
Teddy bears of the sea. So, do you remember what your worst show was?
Wow, that's a good question. Oh no! Oh my god! I've had so many bad
Not to bring
ones.
up PTSD memories.
I mean, my whole thing is that like I love gay people, and I love like
Me too.
and like I was sort of raised by gay people in comedy, basically. Like my best friend, his name's Andrew Johnston, and he's like an amazing gay comedian, and like he was the one that was like, you need to do stand up, like and he gave me like a spot on, he did this like gay female show when there wasn't really any of those like in Toronto, and he would give me a spot every month on his show. And so I sort of learned how to do stand up in front of an audience of like women and like gay men and stuff. So that's what I find funny, and that's who I want to entertain. And like that's like my ideal audience. So when you throw me in, I remember I did like a Yuck Yuck show and it was all military people. No offense to military people. Like, we thank you for your service. But like, they just don't get me at all. And then there was like this group of guys that were like, like just stone-faced. Like, anytime you throw me in front of like a bunch of straight dudes, like sometimes it'll be good, but like when I was first starting, it was just like, no, like they did not. And like a lot of people, when you're a woman, will just like, they'll decide to like go pee because they're like, oh, like they won't even give you a chance. They're just like, oh, like a chick's on stage, and they'll get up and leave. And so like just getting on stage and like seeing like 16 people stand up and leave before you've even opened your mouth is like,
and I was trying to avoid the "what's it like to be a woman in comedy" question, because I'm sure you get that.
Oh yeah, all the time.
A fuck ton. But you said it right. Like, I feel like sometimes they either don't take you seriously.
Yeah,
and which is weird because it's comedy. So like it's this weird thing where like, yeah, like you said, they probably put more pressure on you, maybe, or maybe they don't hold you to the same standard as a guy, and that's bullshit.
Oh, totally.
That's absolutely
and like, I mean,
bullshit.
When people do see me, like, I hate this cliche, like, I mean, the women in comedy question, and like,
yeah,
I know it sounds so cliche, and a lot of people don't believe that this actually happens, but so many people will come up to you after a show and be like, you know, I don't really like women comedians, but like, you were really funny. And I'm like,
you're really funny for a woman.
Yeah. And I'm like,
fuck yourself.
Are you hearing what's coming out of your mouth right now? Like, oh my God. It is changing, like, it's changing very quickly, which is great. Like,
yes.
I mean, the thing about Halifax, though, is like, there's not very many female comedians. And like, the ones that are here are really like working and hustling so hard. But like, I just want like, if you're a woman and you live in Halifax and like you, and you're like, I'm writing jokes down in my phone, but I don't know, like, just go do it. Oh my God, there's so many dudes here with like unearned confidence that like do comedy all the time. And there's like 4 women, like, ugh.
Unearned confidence.
Mm-hmm.
That's the perfect way to say it. Like, that's exactly it. Yes, Belle.
Yes.
No, but like, that's so true, because yeah, when I was thinking of, because you know, there's a lot of comedians I think of when I think of people I'd like to have on, but like, I like physically getting together and podcasting, like, rather than over Skype or something. I just find it takes away the vibe.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, you were one of the only people I thought of, and the reason, like, I kind of go to women is I'm like you. I love gay men, and I'm a girl's girl.
Yeah.
So, like I make the joke all the time, like, straight men are just not my demographic.
Yeah, exactly.
Or at least I feel that way. Because I'm pretty flamboyant and out there. And they're just like, whoa, this is too much. And that was one thing about you. Like, I looked up a YouTube of your stand-up.
Oh, man.
And you had a joke that was like, yeah, guys don't like me because I'm self-deprecating. And when you said that, I was like, thank you, because I feel the same way.
Oh yeah,
I feel like guys don't know how to take it sometimes.
Well, yeah, and like, sometimes when guys are like, when you're funnier than a guy that you're with, like guys say that they want like a funny girl, but they don't want someone that's funnier than them.
Nope.
Like when I go on a first date, like, it's always such a disaster, because I'll tell people, like, I'll be like, oh, what do you do? And they'll be like, oh, I work for like the government, or like something like that. And I'm like, oh, I'm a writer for 22 minutes. And they're like, oh my God, I'm really funny. How do I get your job? And then it just becomes them like interviewing me about how they get my job. And I'm like, well, I don't want you to have my job, because I want my job.
I work for this job. Yeah. I don't want you to take it from me.
Don't take my job from me. Like, that's bullshit. Also, we just met. Like, why are you like asking me how you can get my job?
Well, because I think people might have they might have an image in their head of like what it is to be a writer. And it's like, no, there's so much more that goes into writing.
Well, it's like working your butt off for, like, I worked my ass off for like almost like 10 years before I got from high school. I was like, I want to write for TV. Like, I'm going to work really hard. I'm going to write scripts and like submit them and like, you know, do comedy and like write all the time. And then finally, like, I got a job, and it drives me crazy when like someone who has never really done it before, who's like, I'm funny. I mean, someone that I'm on a first date with who's like, I'm really funny. So like, I think I could do that too. Tell me how. Like, no, like
Yeah, it's not like you get, like, on a first date, give them a rundown. Okay, so this is what you do. And then they go the next day and get it. Like,
that's not
how
gonna
life
happen.
works.
Oh, God.
Fuck. So first dates, are you a single gal?
Yeah, I'm very single. Oh, my God. I haven't had a relationship in a million years. Oh, boy.
It's been a while.
It's been a really long time, but, like, I like it. Like, I mean, I think I would like being in a relationship if I found, like, a really fun person, but no one I've met has been, like, it's, fun. Like, I don't know, like, I'm like, you are going to be a lot of work that I, like, don't really care to put in. Like, I know, I've got, like, a whole bunch of friends. I've got, like, a bunch of friends that we all, like, do everything together. It's very cliquey, and they're all single, too, so, like, I don't really miss the relationship stuff, and like
that's good though that you have a lot of single friends, because at least you're not seeing, like, because I have a lot of friends right now who are like in relationships or married with kids, and it's just like it stares me in the face.
Yeah, same.
So it's good to have a gaggle of like single people that you can just like kind of hang out with.
Yeah, and I feel like, I mean, that kind of pressure to like, you know, hook up and or like, you know, like get with someone and like get married and have kids and everything. I don't know, like, I find that is more prevalent on, like, the East Coast than it is in, like, Toronto, because Toronto's where I live most of the year, and, like, that's where all my friends are, and they're all single and stuff, but when I get back, I think it's mostly my mother, too, like, so I'll, like, come back and my mom's like, when are you going, like, have you met anyone yet? And I'm like, I could go on Tinder right now and find a guy, and we could be married in, like, a month if I wanted to, because I am awesome, but, like, I don't want just anyone. I want, like, someone that's really cool.
Thank you. I totally fucking agree. And I feel like there's this common thing with people who've been single for a while where people kind of want to say, like, lower your standards.
Yeah.
Or stop being picky.
Oh, my mom says I'm picky all the time.
It's just like, it's not being picky. It's wanting to find someone who you're not going to divorce in 4 years.
Yeah. Or, like, if you really
like,
think that, like, marriage is the institution that is worth respecting, like I have to spend the rest of my life with this person, none of these clowns are cutting it for me, so like I'm gonna keep waiting.
Oh man, it's so fun. So did you do online dating a lot? Or
yeah, I get into, like, since I've gotten this job though, it's been hard because I'll start online every time I move back to Toronto or move back to Halifax. I'll start getting on Bumble and like looking around for what's out there, and then I'll do that for like a month, and I'll just get tired of it, and then like I'll just quit again. So I'll probably go back to Toronto and like see what's out there, and unless someone like really, you know, like makes an impression on me immediately, I'll probably just like taper off and stop doing it. It's so much easier just to like be by yourself or with your friends.
I totally agree. I think it's like a second job managing all these apps.
Yeah.
It feels exhausting.
It's so exhausting.
Do you like Bumble?
I prefer it to Tinder, because for a while I was getting stuff on Tinder, like, you know, those secret creeps. They'll be like, hey, how's it going? And then you, like, won't write back, or you'll write back, like, once, and then they'll start, like, negging you and being like, you're a bitch. Like, you're not getting back to me. Like, meh, meh, meh. And
well, I guess this is going good. Or like they'll say something like kind of sarcastic.
Yeah, and it just depresses me because I'm like, I didn't, like, you wake up in the morning and then, or like if, I remember texting with this guy and then I went to bed and then I didn't respond to him because I was unconscious. And I woke up the next day to like this like series of messages of him just like spiraling and like calling me a bitch and like saying I wasn't ever gonna, like I was gonna die alone and like not be happy and all this stuff. And I was like, good morning to you too.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, God, they take things way too seriously. Mm-hmm. Like they really, really do. It's so frustrating. I'm like I'm the same. Like I've been single for 6 years. I've only had 2 relationships.
Oh man,
yeah.
I have had very few too. Like it's ugh.
See, I feel like we're cut from the same cloth because like I get the same thing.
It's always really nice to like meet people that are in the same boat as you too. Because sometimes I feel like I'm the only person that like hasn't really had like crazy relationship times. Like I've had like boyfriends for like I think max like 6 months.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yeah.
But like a couple different like 6 month situations. Yeah. See, I've only had long term, like couple of years, and like super casual. They probably don't know my last name.
Oh yeah. I've had mostly those.
Yeah. I've had a lot of casual sex experiences, and like it's just like getting a bit, like, it's fun. It is. But it's just kind of, and maybe you feel the same. I don't know. But like you said, you're self-deprecating, but you have a confidence. Like, you have the confidence and you have a personality. I'm always just like, I have a personality. So like, what am I doing? Like, why am I not making a mark on people? Because it's not like I'm boring them. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you're just like, I am me. And I know I have a personality, so what's the problem? Like, I feel that way all the time. So, like, people think, oh, you're mad because you're desperate. And I'm like, no, I'm just mad that, like, other people aren't getting it.
Well, yeah, like, and then you'll see, like, girls that, I don't know, are with guys with personalities, and then they're, like, so boring. So, like, I'm like, oh, like, I have a personality, so I should be with someone that has a personality. But then I'm like, maybe I should be looking for someone that's, like, kind of dull. Because it seems to be working out for, like, in, like, the opposite way. Like, there's so many guys that, like, are, like, have charisma and charm and are with these girls who are, like, duds.
And that's the thing. Like, I kind of want someone who, like, we can, like, bounce off each other. And
exactly.
It's, like, to me, that's more exciting than, like, being the extrovert when I'm with an introvert. Like, I don't think I could date an introvert. It's just not. I think it would drive me nuts.
Yeah, like, that's why I love gay guys so much, because gay guys have such big personalities, and, like, nothing is more fun to me than having, like, a super hilarious, like, colorful conversation with people that, like, just throwing barbs back and forth at each other.
Yes.
Whereas, like, I don't know, like, when I go out on dates, I'm like, okay, like, time for me to indulge this boring guy and all his boring life.
No. Oh, it sucks. I hate it. I really hate it. Like, I hate that, like, just grasping at strings to try to connect with somebody. Like, it feels like it just isn't right sometimes. Ugh.
But it doesn't matter either. Like, I mean, like, I think I could be happy being single for, like, the rest of my life. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, we're all just bags of meat, like, flopping around, and, like, we're all gonna die alone anyway, so.
Nothing matters.
Nothing matters in the grand scheme of things.
You're right, though. Like, I feel like sometimes I'm just like, I feel like I want a relationship, but I've been used to being alone for so long that I feel like the transition would just be very hard.
I think, though, that, like, I do believe that there's someone for everyone, and that, like, it's just a matter, like, there's a reason that we're sitting here waiting. I think.
That's true. I think it builds character, too. Mm-hmm. And it makes you more humble, I think.
And it makes you, like, okay to be alone. Like, I'm at the age, I don't know how old you are, but I'm currently at the age where, like, a lot of people are getting divorced, and then you, like, see how they are when they're alone, and it's like, you don't know how to be alone. Oh, wow, you're freaking out right now.
Yes. I'm 31, so I feel like I'm getting a lot of people getting married, or they're, like, within the first couple of years of marriage right now. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, the divorce wave is probably coming for me in a couple of years.
Oh, baby. It's coming hard and fast. Yeah.
What about babies? Do you want babies?
I think babies are so cute. Like, I'm not the kind of person that's going to get, like freeze my eggs or anything like that. Actually, I had a kind of a choice a couple years ago, like, because I was like my mom and, like, all my friends. I think I would like to have a baby eventually, because babies are so cute and sweet. But I am not in a relationship right now. And then my friend's sister was, like, freezing her eggs, and she was like, "You should freeze your eggs too." And I was like, "Oh, how much is that?" And she was like, $10,000. And I was like, "What?" And
I thought it was even more than that. I thought it was like 20,000 or something.
No, I think it's only 10. It might be a bit more than that. Yeah. It is very expensive, though, like, unreasonably expensive. And then I was like, "Oh, okay, I can do that, or I can get, like, my green card, which is, like, my work visa in, like, the United States, because I do want to move to the States and, like, try to be a comedian there." Yeah. And then so I was like, crossroads, like, family or career. I was like, I think I choose career. So I'm, like, doing the green card thing right now. But, like, yeah, I love babies. I love looking at other people's babies. But, like, I'm just gonna leave it up to the universe. And like, I'm not gonna do anything weird or crazily scientific, like, with embryos or anything like that. But totally if I meet someone and, like, before I dry up, I'm going to
That's great imagery.
Like, I would, if I met someone that, like, really, really, really wanted kids, I would be like, sure.
Yeah.
But also I'm really career focused, and
Right.
like you can always adopt and stuff like that too. So
Yeah. And adoption's really pricey too, though.
Oh, I know. Everything's so expensive.
That's the thing. I'm just like, I don't know. In vitro would be pricey. Adoption would be pricey. Like, I don't know. It just seems like if you're a single gal that wants kids, like, you gotta start saving for that shit.
Oh God, I know.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
And it makes me so sad that there's so many like babies in the world that don't have families, and like there's people like me that's like, I could take this thing, and then I think I'll get a dog first. Like,
That's probably that's a good, well, they say that that's a good first step to being a mom is like have a puppy.
oh, I want a puppy so bad. Like, I think babies are cute, and I think dogs are like, like dogs are everything. They're the happiest. They make me so happy. Oh God.
They're adorable. Are you more a dog person or a cat person?
Oh, I'm 100% more of a dog person.
Yeah.
I mean, cats are fine.
Yeah.
I don't know what all the hype is though. Like people love, but yeah, I love dogs. Not like little dogs though. I want like a big beast of a dog.
Yes. Like a big, like you can't control them.
I think same like with cats too though. I really like big fat cats. Like, I think that they're cool.
Yes.
When they're like little slinky, like scratchy ones, I'm like, ugh, this is the worst.
It's like my cat. Oh. But I have an Instagram account for Instagram Instagram account for her. I gave her own Instagram because that's just who I am. And this is why I'm single.
What's your cat's name?
Mindy.
Oh, that's such a cute name.
I named her after Mindy Kaling because I was really big into the Mindy Project. Like when it was in its prime, it's gotten terrible.
Oh,
But
I know. I watched it up until she had her baby, and then I was like, oh, I'll watch this again, and then I just never did.
Right? It just fell off. Mm-hmm. What are the things do you think that's influenced your comedy the most in terms of like just who you are as a comedian?
It's weird because like if you were to see me do like 45 minutes of stand up, I have a lot of jokes about like, you know, like being like a fag hag and like hanging out with gay guys and stuff. And so like I really like what Kathy Griffin is doing, but I don't like Kathy Griffin.
Oh God, it's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I could hang out with her.
I want her audiences. Like that would be my dream. Like she can just go and, you know, put on a show and there'll be like 8,000 like gay guys there to see her. Actually, there's a comedian that you should really watch who is a really good friend of mine. Her name's Catherine Ryan.
Okay.
She's a Netflix special.
Yeah.
It's the best. Like we kind of like she was like probably into comedy for a few years before I started, and I got to like watch her when I was just starting out, and then she moved to the UK and she just like blew up in the UK. Like she's basically like the Amy Schumer of the UK, and she is like gonna be big here too very soon. But yeah, it's kind of weird because she's like a very good friend of mine. She was just in town around Christmas. Like she was on 22 Minutes for an episode, which was really fun. But like, it's weird when like one of your good friends becomes your favorite comedian. Like she's amazing. And so she does stuff about like pop culture. Like that's the kind of stuff that I like to joke about. So my stuff was like mostly, I didn't really watch a lot of stand up because we didn't really have a lot of stand up like in PEI when I was growing up. I didn't really know what it was, so I'm not someone that's like Seinfeld or like Mindy Kaling's awesome. Like I worship Tina Fey, obviously. There's this show called Difficult People that's really fun. Yeah. So I like love Julie Klausner so much, like she and like Billy Eichner and stuff too, like just stuff like that, like stuff that's like super entrenched in pop culture that like a lot of normal people wouldn't get the references, but like I get the references because that's what I'm into, and it's
oh my God, up my alley. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check her out because when you said Amy Schumer of UK, I was like sold because Amy Schumer's probably my favorite, and I know people cringe when I say that.
No, Amy Schumer's great.
Yeah, people like, I feel like, I don't know, she just represents who I am, I think, which is like, again, super self-deprecating. Like that's just my type of humor. So like when a woman is doing that on stage, but that said, like I rediscovered what's her name, Janine Garofalo.
Oh, I love Janine Garofalo.
I rediscovered her recently, and I was like, fuck, this is awesome.
Oh man, she did a show at Comedy Bar in Toronto, and like she did an hour, and she was just so cool and confident, and like it wasn't really rehearsed or polished. She just kind of riffs on like whatever she feels like talking about, but it's still so funny. Ugh.
I love that. takes such a fucking skill. I just like, I honest to God, like look up to comedians because I'm just like, it takes such confidence to do that. Like put yourself out there like that. So did you ever have, here's another question, jokes about maybe someone in your life or like an ex or somebody? Has anyone gotten pissed off at a joke you've made?
Oh, I'm waiting for that because like I usually don't use people's names.
Yeah.
But like I do have one joke where I like it's sort of based on a friend of mine and I use her real name and I don't think she's like watched my stand up or anything like that. Like and I love her so much, but it's just kind of about like when you have kids, how you like change and then it becomes like kids. So I use like, and then my joke is just about like, she like I went to like her nursery and like this part is like sort of made up, but I go to her nursery and I'm like, oh, she has a sign on the wall above the crib and it's like, first we had each other, then we had you, now we have everything. And then I'm like bitch, your yearbook quote was 2 in the pink and 1 in the stink, like come on, like come off of it. And so she's actually my friend from university and she was like party like crazy, like fun. And then she had kids and now it's sort of like that never happened. Like she's just kind of like whitewashed everything. And it's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like that, like what? I've not, anyway, so I use her real name in my stand-up set and she hasn't ever said anything, but I'm just waiting for her to like see that joke and to be like, oh no, you didn't. I don't think that she'll like be that pissed, but like, I think her feelings might be a bit hurt. But I like, every time I try to change the name, I always accidentally slip back into like use her real name. So it's, I don't know.
I've had guests come on with fake names on the show.
Oh,
like friends of mine who just kind of want to talk about like sex stuff, but they don't want their real name out there.
Oh God, do you like warp their voices?
I don't, but like I have a friend who like goes by a fake name and he's been on 3 times. And even still, like, on his 3rd episode, I'm just like, I say his real name, and I'm just like, fuck, Sarah, do that again. And then I have to say the line again, and it's just like, oh my God, it's so stressful. I think I remember that joke that you made about your friend. That's so funny. Do you ever have guys on dates be like, don't make jokes about me? Like...
No, I mean, yeah, like... I think, actually, sometimes, like, people will be like, don't write a joke about this. Or like the opposite, like you should write a skit about this.
Oh gosh.
Like, it's called a sketch. Don't call it a skit.
This isn't a play. Yeah. This isn't a high school variety show.
Exactly. Like, do not call it a skit. But like, oh God, I don't know. Like, yeah, there's been like no one really minds though. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's good because I feel like even with me with the podcast, because I talk a lot about personal stuff on it. I actually was seeing a guy for a bit from Tinder. And when I say seen, I mean 4 or 5 dates.
Yeah.
Let's say 4. Probably wasn't 5. But it was like a couple dates.
It's hard to get past that hump, man.
It is. I mean, it's hard to even get to the first date with me. I'm just like big, like I'm just too nervous to ask guys out. But like he was just like, so like you have the podcast, like are you gonna mention me on it? Like super just like scared that I was gonna mention him on the podcast.
Because you never know with that. Because some people are like, are you gonna mention me on it? Like, or like, are you gonna do a joke about me? And I'm like, do you want me to?
Yeah,
like, is
seriously.
That like, are you embarrassed? Because if you're really embarrassed, I won't say anything. But like, it seems like you want me to.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. It's like, yeah, how do you gauge that? And I think with a lot of people, like I actually had a male friend of mine. He was just like, he actually said like, I get intimidated by you because you have a platform.
Oh.
And I was like, you're overestimating my platform? Like, I have a small listenership.
It's good that he was that honest, though. Like, wow, guys are very rarely that honest. Like, they'll be like, oh, and then they'll die of a heart attack, like 60 years later from like forcing all of their emotions down. Oh man,
shit, it's so funny. But like, actually, when I thought of this episode and having you on, I was like, okay, now's the time to tell this really awkward Tinder hookup story that I have.
Oh yay!
That I've never told on the podcast yet. And this is the guy who didn't want me talking about him on the podcast. I will add that he ghosted me, and it's been like a long time. You haven't talked to me since, so I'm allowed to talk about it.
Yeah.
That's just how I see it.
Ghosting should be a crime.
Have you ever been ghosted?
Oh God, all the time. And oh God, I don't want to like interrupt your story, but yeah, just like
Go.
it makes me so sad, especially when like it's very rarely that I meet someone that I'm like, oh my God, you're interesting and cool, and like I could actually like, you know, like break down all of my shitty walls for you, and then they ghost you. That happened to me like this summer, and I was like, ugh.
And like, I think there's different levels of ghosting. It depends on what it is. Like in this case, it was like, and it goes into the story, there was a couple awkward situations or sexual situations that happened, and it essentially was just like, I'm down to hang out again if you are, but like you let me know when you're free because like I know you're busy. And I'm pretty flexible, so you just let me know when you want to hang out again. And then it was like nothing. So that was my ghosting. But like there's other really bad ghosting situations, I think. Like when it's like really serious. Like this was only 4 or 5 dates. So it was still ghosting.
If you want to ghost at the first date, that's totally fine. But like, yeah, like 4 or 5 dates, come on.
Yeah.
Like you've put in some serious time.
It's a bit much. But this story...
4 or 5 dates, like, man, that's when you get to kiss them. No, I'm kidding. First date? No, I'm kidding. I'm not that much of a prude.
That's what's funny about this situation, because we didn't kiss until like the 3rd or 4th date.
Oh, really?
And that's what was awkward about it. Because I was having fun and like the conversation was good and like I was pretty attracted to him. And then like finally there was a night that we went to his apartment and we watched Rick and Morty on the couch.
Oh, nice.
And finally like it came up that we hadn't kissed yet. I was like, dude, I'm sorry. I'm just really bad at making the first move. Like I'm pretty dominant in every way. But like just give me the first kiss. Like just give me the lean in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then,
yeah.
Like, I will roll with it.
Totally. Yeah. Then you can start like being a little bossy bitch. But like,
Exactly.
No, like, yeah, we're so much alike.
Yeah, I knew we would be. And this is why I'm like, okay, I'm telling the story on Heidi's episode because it has to come out because it's too funny to not talk about. But like we ended up actually doing like a countdown to kiss. Because we were both so nervous to kiss that we were like, 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, that's really cute. I mean, now it's not now because I know what happens, but like, ugh.
And then we kissed and like it escalated. And I moved up to the bedroom and he actually has like a nice house with stairs.
That's stairs, so rare. Oh, God.
Right? I was just like, you're successful. You have stairs in your house. Went up. Was fooling around. There was like a lot of action going on, but I noticed he wasn't getting hard.
Ooh.
So I was like, oh God, I'm gonna do the girl thing where I overthink this. Yeah. And I go to, am I not hot enough? What's wrong with me? Kind of thing. And it just wasn't happening. So it never actually got to the point where we had sex, but like we did everything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Was he drunk? I've had that like before.
That's what everyone asks. And like, maybe 2 drinks.
Oh,
so, like,
no.
I don't think that's drunk. Like, I think maybe it was influenced by alcohol, but like, no judgment if you have problems. It's just in my situation, I was just like, okay. And this is how I usually attack the situation is I'm just like, let's take a breather, is what I say. Like, let's just chill out for a bit. Mm. And then like, maybe like redo it later. But anyways, we called it a night. I fell down his stairs.
Oh, no.
And like, it was like I fell back on my tailbone and like went.
Oh no! Like Kevin McAllister in Home Alone on the sled.
I felt it, and it was a situation where, like, you know, I've been on like 4 dates with this guy, so I was still trying to like be cool. So I got up and I was like, I'm okay. But then I saw like blurry stars everywhere, and I was like, I clearly had the wind knocked out of me from the fall. Yeah. And I just got like, do you remember when you were a kid and you used to like get like a soccer ball to the stomach or something?
You need a minute, yeah.
And you just like, you almost can't breathe. And like, that's what happened. I was like, I need to lay down. Can you get me water? And it was just so fucking embarrassing. And he went into like paramedic mode.
Oh,
he was just,
put her in the safety position. Yeah.
Are you okay? And it was all good. So it was super embarrassing, but the sex didn't happen. And then we hung out again the next week, and I actually had him over. And I was like, this is the time. This is like, if it doesn't happen this time, something's probably wrong. Like maybe you're not attracted to me. Like, I don't know. That's just how I see it, but maybe I'm overthinking it.
Yeah.
the sex actually happened, but again, it wasn't that hard. It was semi-hard.
Semi's better than not.
Semi's better than not. And in my mind, I was like, hard enough? So we had sex. But like, at that time, it was like a 6-month dry spell. Quite literally, like, he was not hard and we had sex and I came like within 30 seconds.
Oh, wow. Holy shit. That happens though when you like aren't like I masturbate so much that I feel like I've ruined myself for like any other like non-vibrator related sexual experience. So like when you don't do that and you don't have sex for a while, like you can come like boom.
It was boom, but I mean it's just like on top for me is like it's so easy. Like just boom. Because in my mind and like like and this is no offense to guys or anything, but like if I'm on top and I'm like doing the motions, it's not really you. Like, you're inside me, but, like, that's more me.
Yeah.
Than you. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of more me. And so I came, like, super quick, but then, like, and that was, like, maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute. He came, like, within 2 minutes. And I'm not exaggerating. And when it was done, he said, whoa, I wasn't even hard. I wish you could see Heidi's face right now.
Oh, what?
I was just like, oh, this is awkward.
So awkward. Wow. Pillow talk, huh? Oh my God.
So that's my story.
Oh man.
I had sex with a semi-hard guy. Actually, probably wasn't even hard. I don't know. In my mind, I thought it was hard enough, I say. But so embarrassing. And that's the guy who ghosted me.
So did he ghost you after that?
Like after that, like I think a couple texts were sent like, oh, we should hang out again. And then it was just like, yeah, maybe.
You don't want a guy that can't get hard that like comes after 2 minutes, even though he's
weird. I never knew that a guy could do that if he's not hard.
I want to look up like a medical textbook now, but like I didn't.
Right?
Yeah, I didn't think that either.
Isn't that bizarre and like so embarrassing on my end because I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna get this semi-hard dick. Like I was just like, fuck.
Well,
I got laid though.
Oh yeah. Well, this weird thing happened to me like a few years ago. I went on this date with this guy who was like pretty nice. Anyway, he was fine. He was fine. We went out on a second date, and this was the date. Like I am no prude, so like if it's a second date, I'm like we gonna fuck.
Get it done. Because like, if you don't have the sexual chemistry, what's the point?
Well, yeah, and I'm like, 1 date to find out if you're crazy or not. Like, if you're gonna murder me. 2 dates, okay, yeah. Like, if we make it to the second date, like, yeah, it's on. And so I went out with this guy, and we met at this bar, and like, he got there first, and he was just like, yeah. We were like drinking beers and stuff, and we did have quite a lot to drink, but not like a crazy amount. Like we had like 3 beers or something like that. And he kept like complimenting me. He was just like, oh, you're so pretty. And like, I don't know why you're on this date with me. And like, and he was really cute and had like a cool job. And like, he owned his own apartment and like, didn't seem like a mess. So I was like, you're very insecure. Like, I didn't say this, but like, my like radar was on. I was like, he's like really laying it on. And I don't know why he's so insecure. And then, so I went back to his place and like he has this like beautiful apartment, like kind of on the water in like downtown Toronto, which I'm like, you're paying a lot for this real estate, but it's completely empty. It is like, there's appliances, there's a bed, there's a couch, but there's no stuff. Like there's just no
evidence of him like
being a person, basically. There's like no books, there's no magazines lying around, or like there's like a TV, but there's no DVDs or anything like that, or even like I don't think that's like a Netflix box or anything like that. It just, so it's like the vibe is already, and there's just a single very expensive bottle of wine on the counter, and I'm like, I know my wine, so I'm like, that's like $50. like, I would never buy a $50 bottle of wine. Anyway, so like, but there's just a single bottle of wine on the counter. So we split it. Like his TV doesn't work, so we're just God. I'm like, did you just move in here? And like he's like, I've been living here for like 2 months, and I'm like he was like, yeah, I just moved here, but I've been living here for like 2 months. I'm like, 2 months, you should be accumulating some stuff,
some trash.
Yeah, and so we split this bottle of wine, and so I start like making out with him and everything like that, which I had to initiate, and we're like fooling around, and then like I'm kind of like, let's bring this to the bedroom, like that kind of thing.
I love that moment.
And he's like, no. What? And I'm like, what? Like, you're like talking about how great I am, and now I'm like, you're being like, are you like a virgin? Like, no, I'm like, they're like, it's very rare that the guy says no.
It
and
is
I'm like,
rare.
And I'm like, why though? And he's like, I was so nervous to go on this date with you that I had like 6 beers before I went out. Like I even got to the bar, and now there's no way I'm getting hard right now, because he had like 6 beers, then he had 3 beers with me, and then we split a bottle of wine. So he's just like, there's just no way that I'm getting hard tonight. And I'm like, yeah, like, I guess in hindsight, I guess like we've been making out and like dry humping, and like it's like limp as hell. So I'm like, I should have known that anyway. But I'm like, okay. He's like, do you want to just go into my bed and cuddle? And I was like, I feel like the man in this situation, because I'm like, cuddle? Ugh. And so he like, we go into his room, he's like spooning me, and then he immediately falls asleep. And it's at this point, it's maybe like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm a bit of a night owl. I'm like, I don't want to go to bed it's like a Saturday night, and it's 11 o'clock. I don't, like, my friends are out. I want to go like hang out with my friends at least. So I like shimmy out of his like spoon, and then I just like go out with my friends. And then the next day he wakes up at like 6 a.m. and he starts texting me being like, do you want to go? I'm up. Do you want to go for brunch? And I get these texts at like noon, and like it's again like another one of those situations where he's like, where are you? Where did you go? Do you want brunch? Why aren't you texting me back? Da 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 da. And I'm like, because you're texting me at 6 a.m. you psycho. And like yeah,
also
so
6 a.m. is not brunch.
Oh, I know. And he was just sending me all these texts at like 6 a.m. and yeah, and then he kind of got like mad at me by like, he was just texting into the nothing, and I wasn't getting back to him. And then he was getting mad at me, and then he was just like, fine, I guess you don't want to like see me anymore, da da da. And this was like at 8 a.m. and I texted him back when I woke up at like noon, and I was like, hey, sorry, I just woke up, but like I didn't call him crazy, but I like in my head I was like, you're nuts, I don't want to do this anymore. And I like coolly removed myself from like that relationship. But I'm like, who has 6 beers before they go out on a date?
That's absolutely crazy. Mm-hmm. Because like you would be pretty drunk at that point.
I know, he didn't seem drunk, and like I sort of wanted to go out with him again just to be like, what the fuck is up with your apartment? You don't own anything. Like that is
so fucked up.
Yeah, it was
maybe leading a double life.
Maybe. It was just
like,
it was the weirdest date I've ever been on. But yeah, like
bizarre as shit.
Yeah, but like maybe your guy wasn't hard because like maybe he had 6 beers before you guys went out because he was intimidated by you.
I love and also hate that reasoning. I get that a lot when like things don't work out with guys. My friends are like, he's just intimidated by how awesome you are.
Oh, I know, like, it seems like such a cop out. Like, come on.
It's just like, if I'm awesome, then why are you intimidated? Come on. Fuck. Do you ever have situations where there's alcohol involved and you kind of question, like, are you drunker than I am? And like, if I do this, is this bad? Oh. Do you know what I mean? Like, do we need to actually sign a contract that this is going down?
Oh my God. In this like hashtag Me Too climate, I usually, God, I feel like the times I've had sex sober are far fewer than the times I've had sex drunk, but like, not like, I've never like had sex with anyone that's like passed out unconscious. No. Usually I'm holding down the fort and being drunker category, but like I've never had a situation either where like I've been too drunk that I've been like, oh no, what happened? But I definitely have friends that have, and I think that's incredibly shitty when like shitty's like not even the word for it. Like when a girl's like basically passed out and guys like they wake up and the guy's like inside her. I'm like, wow, you should go to jail, man. That's terrible. That's
fucked.
I've been very lucky that I've never been in a situation like that. Or like, I don't know, like I don't think guys are sort of lucky because again, like they can't really get hard if they're too drunk. So what's the point? Like if I was like with someone passed out, I'm not going to like bounce up and down on his limp penis.
Yep, but I did.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, like it wasn't totally soft. Like it was, like I said, hard enough. Like that's just enough. Like I'm using quotes. You can't see. Hard enough. I had a situation where I had drunk sex with someone. We were both drunk, and he woke up the next morning not remembering it.
Really?
And I did.
How did that make you feel?
Like I raped someone.
Yeah.
Like literally, like looking back, I'm like, did I just do that? And because like I was drunk too, but I don't get blackout drunk.
I used to, and then like I feel like I got over that or something like that.
That's good though.
Yeah, I really like even last night I drank way too much, but I remember everything that happened, and I'm the kind of person that will like text other people to be like a horrible person. I'd be like, "You did this last night." Oh man, it's kind of the worst superpower to have though, because like I remember what everyone else did, but I also remember what I did, and like. So last night I was like, I have some real hot takes on things when I get drunk.
I love it. We are the same.
Yeah, so like I just remember like it's like I'm floating above my own body, and I remember like cornering someone and being like, "This is what I think about this," and like just saying some things to like coworkers that I really shouldn't have been saying and stuff. Oh my God. And I'm like, "Oh,
were you dropping truths?"
I was dropping truths. It's nothing that I wouldn't necessarily say, not like I would not say it's I meant everything I said, but I'm just like, some of those things you need to keep close you need to keep your cards closer to your chest, Brander. Like, oh no.
Oh my gosh. That
it's not that bad, but you know, like just stuff that you shouldn't be saying.
Or you shouldn't say it in the way you're saying it.
Yeah.
Like I think that's part of it too. It's like you might say it when you're sober, but because you're drunk, you're saying that way more bluntly and straightforwardly than like you ever would be. I love that though. That's kind of what inspired the show. I was like, I just love having kind of like alcohol-induced convos, like heart to hearts with people. Like it's kind of my favorite thing. Like you might not know someone that well, but if you have a couple of drinks with them, you'll find out their fucking deep, dark secrets.
Oh God. I feel so bad for people that don't drink. And I'm not trying to be like, I'm super reliant on alcohol. But like, you really connect with people when you have a few drinks. And like, it naturally like loosens you up. That's why it's called a social lubricator.
Yes.
Because like, God, it's so much more fun.
Could you date a guy who doesn't drink?
I went on a few dates with a guy that did not drink, and it was like kind of a deal breaker. I didn't want it to be, like I gave it a shot, but like it was kind of a deal breaker.
It kind of is in a way. Well, because
it really sucks that it is, but like, oh man, like it's very much a culture. Like I do want to be able to go to bars and everything like that, and I don't want like to feel bad that you're drinking like a coffee, you know?
100%. And I think with comedians, you're in bars all the fucking time. You're working late. You're working later hours.
Oh, that's my dad. Ignore.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, I'm super hungover and talking about bouncing up and down on limp penises.
I'm so happy I finally told that story. I needed to get it off my chest. But, what was I saying?
I also feel like people that don't drink, maybe they don't mean it to be this way, but like they seem a little bit judgmental when you do.
Yeah. There is kind of an air of like, well, I don't because it's bad for me and it's not healthy. And it's like with me, like I drink socially, but I also drink for the show. So like not every podcast episode is drunk. Mm-hmm. Could be like one or two beer or something like that. Some of them are more drunker than others, but alcohol is consistently in my life on a weekly basis. And with comedians, like, yeah, you're at bars, you're working late with servers or people in the service industry. They're working at restaurants late, and then it's part of the culture to have a beer with your coworkers at the end of the night. It's just how it is. Like I dated someone who worked in a restaurant, did like a late night pub downtown Halifax, like opened super late, worked super late hours, and would come home drunk almost every night because it was just part of the culture for him to like drink, right?
Yeah.
So like. Yeah, it's interesting because I've approached guests and like they've just been like, you got to drink in podcasts, but I don't drink. And I was like, I'll still have you on because you're awesome, but it's so much funner when there's alcohol.
Yeah.
It's just so much more of a relief. I don't know what it is.
Well, yeah, and like, I mean, you don't have to feel bad about that being a deal breaker because like some people are like, oh, like, like, if you smoke, like, it's a deal breaker. And, like, I could date someone that smokes. Like, it just depends on, like, if it fits into your lifestyle. Like, and, like, someone that doesn't drink doesn't fit into my lifestyle.
It should be situational. Like, people shouldn't go into dating being like, here are my deal breakers, and, like, ask them those deal breakers on the first date and be like, well, you're out. Like, it should be like how much do I like you? And, like, how much is there chemistry here? And then figure out if those deal breakers are in. But, like, alcohol, like, I drink a lot. You'll have to not judge me if you date me.
Oh, yeah, me too. I drink a lot. My friends drink a lot. Like, our lives sort of revolve around alcohol, which probably isn't the healthiest choice, but, like, I'll figure that out later.
So do you think you're the truth bomb drunk? Like, you know how there's different kinds of drunk people? Like yeah. Do you think you're the truth bomber?
I've gone through different stages in my life. Like, again, in, like, university, I was kind of like a bit of a blackout barfy person. Now I don't barf at all. I remember everything. And yeah, like, I'm very opinionated, which, like, is kind of annoying. I know. Like, and I'll get into fights a lot with people, and I kind of don't like it. Like, when I'm super drunk, like, yeah, I'll, like, pick fights with people. Not fights, but, like, I'm not going to go and, like, punch a girl in the face or anything like that. But, like, I'll pick, like, arguments, and I'll be like, and I'll just be, like, the authority on everything. And I'm like that. And then, like, other times I'll drink, and then I'll be very silly and, like, dancey and stuff like that. But, like, just, I'm mostly thinking about last night. I was like, oh, God, I had so many hot takes. And, like, I'm like a dumb idiot. Like,
But, like, don't you feel like sometimes, okay, and, like, you're 35, I'm 31. I still love gossip.
Oh, I love gossip so much.
Right?
Oh, and I like when people are like, I don't like gossip about other people. I don't like talking about people behind their backs. Like, I don't really like rumors and stuff. I'm like, I live for all of those things.
It's so true. I mean, like, let's be honest, like, even in close friend groups, we're all fucking talking about each other to the other people.
Oh my God,
it doesn't change after high school.
If you're mad at someone, everyone else knows except for, like, that person.
It's so true.
It's so much easier to be like, I'm mad at, like, Mary to, like, you know, Angela. And then Angela will tell Mary that you're mad at her. And then maybe something will happen. But, like, oh God,
It doesn't change. Like, we're in our 30s.
I know. It doesn't change at all.
And we're still dealing with this shit.
Oh, and it's so much fun, though. It's, like, my favorite thing to talk about. Like, brr, 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 like, just gossiping about people. Ugh, I love it.
I love when things come to a head. Like, when you're out drinking with friends and, like, there's, like, maybe a deep-seated issue going on that no one's talked about.
Oh, my God.
Someone brings it up.
Because, again,
it's
booze.
The best feeling.
Booze is what... Like, oh, man. Like, I have moments like that sometimes when I'm like, don't say it. Don't say it, my little brain. They would be like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. You're going to regret this and that. Blah! And I'll just, like, blurt it out, like, something that everyone is thinking, but, like, no one else is saying.
My favorite type of people do that. Like, and it's like, how do you feel when that gets back on you, though? Do people ever call you out?
Yeah,
on
all
your
the time.
shit?
Oh, my God, yeah. I love that. And that's when, like... that's when fights happen and stuff, because what I'll usually do, and you can ask all my friends and they will all agree, but I'll be like, what? And I'll get, like, so mad, and I'll be like, I don't do that. That's not me. Da-da-da. And I'll pick a fight, and then I'll, like, immediately apologize, because, like, it takes me a minute to be like my natural reaction is to be like, no. Wait a minute. You're so like that. And then I'll be like, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
See, like, I feel like I'm so self-aware that, like, I'm just expecting like, everything that they say. So, like, if someone comes at me with the truth, I'm just like, yeah, I know. That's what I do. What you want? Like, this is who I am. You know what I mean? Like, I'm prepared for it.
I need to get to that place, because, like, yeah, there is still that, like, little thing, and it's like, no, that's not. Oh wait, yeah, that's totally me. Okay, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
And sometimes you just gotta think on it. Like, you gotta sleep on it. I think sometimes too, for you to realize, like, oh yeah, you were right. And I feel like with close friends, you can have that openness, and there's no judgment, you know what I mean? Those are the best friendships.
Oh, yeah.
Where you can just be totally fucking honest.
And sometimes someone will be, or I'll say to someone, you're so like this, you do this or that, and then they'll be like, yeah, you do too. And I'm like, oh yeah. Like, why did I just attack that person for, like, doing the same thing that I do and, like, most other people do? I don't know.
Do you ever get mad at your female friends for apologizing too much?
Oh, I mean, not just my female friends, but, like, women in general. I think it's an age thing, and it's also just like confidence thing, but like, oh man, and like even in comedy, there's so many females out there that are like so talented, and their first instinct is to just be like, oh, like, I'm sorry that I did anything. I'm sorry that I exist, or that I'm taking up a man's space, you know? And but then like on the other, the comedy brings together the smartest, most insecure women and the most delusional, overconfident, untalented men. I'm not saying this about all men at all. Like there's some men that are like, that lack confidence and are incredibly funny and like do comedy because they can't not. But like there's also just this like these crazy people that pop up on stage and think that saying something like racist or sexist or homophobic is a joke.
Yeah.
And it's like, where did you come from? Who hurt you?
Who hurt you? You just grab them by the face. Who hurt you?
Oh man, and I wish that there were more women that would like go up on stage and even just be like, who cares? Like, I mean, if I saw like a shitty female comedian go up and say something like racist or sexist or homophobic, I would be like, well, I mean, at least you exist because like you're not
scared to do it.
Yeah, you're not scared to do it. You know,
it sucks what you're saying.
Yeah,
and I don't agree. But the fact that you had the courage to get up on a stage and say that when so many men do it.
Yeah.
And get laughs and applause. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's this big wave of comedy in Toronto happening where like there's like all female rooms, and there are people that will like go up and be like brassy and like loud and unapologetic, and like I'm like, yes, finally, like there's this surge of a movement where like there's finally going to be like maybe like equal parts female comedians and like male comedians, because God, that needed to happen. Like, I hate when women apologize.
It's like, really, like, I have Danielle, if you're listening to this, I love you. But my best friend, who's done the show, she apologizes for everything.
And, like, is that a Canadian thing, too? Like, I mean, I do apologize all the time, too. But, like, it's so much easier to apologize than to not apologize, to the point where, with me, sometimes I don't even mean it.
Yeah.
And, like, if I'm in a fight with a friend, like I have this one friend who is so like proud, and he won't apologize for anything, even though like I don't think I've ever heard him say I'm sorry. Even though it's so much easier to just say I'm sorry and like go through with it, and it like everything would be fine if you just say you're sorry, but he won't, because that word means something to him. But for me, it's sad to say, but like, it doesn't mean anything. Like it's
a conflict resolution.
Yeah. Oh, I'm like, all I need to do is say I'm sorry, even though I'm not. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It has lost all of its meaning for me.
That and, here comes my feminist agenda knocking at the door again. I just feel like women are more open to admitting they're wrong or like admitting their faults.
Oh,
like,
absolutely. Yeah.
Like men, like sometimes I'm just like, with male friends, I'm just like, all you need to do is maybe just give a simple apology and just say what I did was douchey in the moment and I'm sorry for it. And like, sometimes they just can't do that.
No.
I don't know what it is. But women are like the first to be like, I'm sorry, I was terrible. Oh my God. Like, and it's just, it sucks. It really does.
Oh yeah. And like, ugh. I'm so sorry.
I'm really trying not to apologize. Like, I've had times where people have bumped into me and I've just been like, sorry, I was in your way.
I do that all the time.
That could be a Canadian thing.
Yeah, like when today I was at the gym and this girl was taking up so much space. Like, she just had like her locker wide open and like stuff everywhere, and my locker was like right beside hers. And I like needed to get in to like open my lock and stuff. And she was just living her life, having the best, like, you know, like naked, flapping around, like da. And I went up to like open my locker and I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And she didn't say anything. And usually with stuff like that, like I say sorry and she's like, oh, I'm sorry. And then she moves a little bit or like something. And she was just sort of like, she ignored me and made me like look at my combination like through a crack. And anyway, I was a bit like, good for you. Like, you don't give a fuck that someone's right here, and I apologize to you, and I don't know why I did that.
That should be a daily task for every woman. Let's just try not to apologize as much. Like, day-to-day, just day-to-day life things, just try not to apologize as much. You know what I mean? Like, fucking fuck it. Like, you don't owe them apologies. Like, they bumped into you. Like,
yeah, be like, fuck you. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you should be.
It's so fucking true. Oh, man. Well, we're at an hour 13, so...
Holy, really?
Yeah!
Oh, my God.
I know, right? Well, I gotta wrap it up, because Heidi has to go get her eyebrows done. One beer in.
I love that you thought I was going for an eye exam.
I know, I misunderstood. I thought you were going for an eye exam. I'm like, I don't want to get her too drunk before her eye exam, because that might be real bad. Thanks so much for coming on. This was fucking fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
And next time you're in Halifax, let me know and you can come back on.
Yes, please.
And,
I would love that.
Send any comedian friends in Halifax my way if they want to come on and do the show. Because I fucking love this.
Oh, I love that you're starting to get comedians on. That's so great.
Yeah, it's kind of my target. Where can people... Okay, so number one, do you have any exciting things coming up that you want to plug?
Ooh, I'm going back to Toronto on Thursday. So, I mean, do you have any like Toronto listeners you think? Okay, so if you're in Toronto, my best friend Andrew and this other comic who's amazing named Sarah Hennessy they're taping their comedy albums at this place called Buddies in Bad Times Theater in Toronto, and I'm hosting it. So it's going to be very fun, and it's going to be my first show that I do back in Toronto. So that'll be great. It's going to be a very good show. So come to that. Ooh. That's the only thing I really have to plug. And watch the finale of 22 Minutes. It's not really like a finale where anything like a cliffhanger happens or anything. But yeah, that's on Tuesdays at I think 8:30.
Perfect. Yeah. Look it up in your local TV guide.
Yeah. Imagine they sell TV guides. Oh.
And you have a bitchin' Instagram. So I Insta stalked you. And what I love about your Instagram is you dress up in costumes a lot.
I love costumes.
And I appreciate that about you so much. Like, you did a post, I think, on Halloween that was like, here I am slaying every single year of Halloween. And you just scroll through and see your costumes.
Oh, man.
That's amazing.
Halloween's my Christmas. I love it so much.
Ding. We actually did a Christmas episode on the podcast talking about Christmas. And I'm actually not a huge Christmas fan. And then my friend Corey, who's a co-producer on the show, he came back with a rebuttal, just essentially being like, Christmas sucks and Halloween is the only holiday that should ever exist.
Yeah.
Because it's so true.
Christmas makes people sad. Halloween makes them so happy.
And Halloween is like a creative holiday. Mm-hmm. So if you're at all creative, like that's when you come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, I think there should be 2 a year. Like one Halloween is not enough.
Yes. Like maybe one in the spring and one in October.
Oh, that's the dream.
And I think, did you dress up as Rachel one time?
Oh my God,
or did you do comedy as Rachel Green from Friends?
Yeah, I did a show in Toronto that like, I was obsessed in my youth with like must-see TV Thursdays on NBC. Yes! Like I love Friends. I love like Will and Grace and Frasier and like all that stuff. So I did a show where everyone had to be a character from like a must-see TV show. So there was like, I hosted it as Rachel, and then my friend was Ross, and then like one of my friends was like Nina from Just Shoot Me, and then another one was like oh God, who else? Like Richard from Caroline in the City.
Oh
like
my God!
Just these like deep cut NBC shows. And then one guy was like Frasier Crane. It was very fun.
That's hilarious. I love it. So follow, and I think you're just Heidi Brander on Instagram.
Yeah.
Right? And on Twitter too?
Yeah.
I should know that because I tweeted you so many times.
It's a pretty easy name to get the rights to. So yeah.
Thanks so much for coming on. This was so much fun.
Oh my God, thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm so glad that I got you before you're potentially going back to Toronto.
Yeah, man.
Limited in your Halifax time. So you do the honors. We ended off by a bell ring, so ring that bell.
Yay!
That's an epic bell ring.